Yes.
Well, there
Hello,
she
baby.
is. Hello. My goodness. Thank you so much for coming on today and welcome to the ZarahRocks show.
I'm so
And
excited for this podcast. You already know.
yes, yes. Well, despite your busy schedule, you always make an effort to try to help the kids. And I truly appreciate it. Everybody in the ZarahRocks show team is highly appreciative of that. So thank you.
I
How
think
have
that's the best mission you can have to help
Yes,
somebody else.
that's true. Our kids are always first.
Yeah.
So how have the past few weeks been for you?
Well, intense.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot of people might know who I am. I'm Dara, and I'm currently representing Bulgaria for Eurovision this year. It's the biggest contest in the whole world.
I was going to say, you were in Greece the last time I spoke with you. You've been all over Europe traveling and recently in London. I know there's a
I'm
lot going
back.
on.
I'm back here. I'm back in Athens right now.
Amazing. Where we started.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The same
Yes.
spot. I'm rehearsing every day for six,
Oh my
7
God. You are a
One of the
hardworking girl.
For sure, I love to work. I think when you have a mission, you need to pursue it and
Absolutely.
try to do
Absolutely.
your best. One of the best things I do for myself in my career is really working on my mentality and how I feel mentally is the biggest priority. So
Absolutely.
that's why I feel like we will have a good chat about why we're here
Oh,
today because I feel it personal and
yes.
I think there's a lot
Yes.
of people who can get something for them and do something with this
Yes.
information today or no.
Exactly. And you know what is the purpose of what we're doing here. So yes, you did mention that you are a candidate of this Eurovision competition 2026. Congratulations, first and foremost. And I know it's been a grueling schedule for you. I can only imagine. And we're definitely rooting for you as you're
Thank you.
approaching the finals here. If you like what you see, don't miss a moment. Subscribe and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X. So I was going to say, you started in this business young and you rose to fame when you competed early after reaching the finals of the X Factor there in Bulgaria. Now,
Yeah.
you also became, from what I understand, a judge for The Voice there and have become now an international pop star in your own right. You have performed with major UK artists such as Robbie Williams, who sold just about 80 million copies worldwide. That is quite an accomplishment for, a young person like you. But you are unique to me, and the reason why I'm saying that is because you're a Gen Zer. That's usually where our audience fall in the line of that
Yeah.
category. And so despite all that, you remained grounded and very real to me, which really, got my attention. That is quite remarkable. So here's a question for you. With all your accomplishments in your career thus far, and I have no doubt there'll be more coming, right? What do you live for?
Honestly, I've been pursuing my career for quite some time now. Ever since I was 5, I had this vision that I am on this big shiny stage. Maybe that's the stage of Eurovision that I saw when I was 5. And ever since then, I've always worked for this dream that I got, for this vision. It was so clear. I knew that this is what I meant to do. But through the years of working, I truly understand why I'm doing this. My purpose is really showing everybody in my country that I can do whatever they want.
You keep on saying there's nothing up, but I
Baby, I know. When do you will see that that's the best for me? I know. Hold up the storm coming up. I'll stay true to myself no matter what. When do you will see that that's the best for me? I know. Yeah, I know.
You know, it's such a cliche when you say, don't give up, be
Yeah, yeah.
yourself, work for your dream, believe in your
You've heard
dream.
it.
Somebody who is depressed or not in the best position right now
Yes.
can say, oh, shut up, you
Yes.
don't know nothing. It's easy
Exactly.
to say from that position that you're now, you're a famous singer, la, la, la.
Mm.
But the truth is, I'm just a human and I feel anxious. I feel fear.
Sure.
So we have a lot of different feelings, different flavors, and it's not just roses. And I will not lie to you, the music industry is super hard to stay
Yes.
relevant. It's super hard. You need to work
Really
24/7.
work
You need to
hard.
give it your all in order for you to be successful in this industry. And this can play tricks with your mind.
Absolutely. And that plays front and center when we are truly in the thick of what we're doing. Like you said, you're working hard, you're rehearsing every day, and a lot of things coming at you. And I feel like to me that I call that bullets coming at you. And the mind needs to stay sane and healthy. And that's where our experience between our minds really converge, making sure that it's all in harmony. Otherwise, we go off track and it becomes all the more harder to compete, to keep up with the entertainment
Yeah.
industry and the business you're in. I share your sentiments. So like you said, one of the current things that you're doing right now is competing at Eurovision, right? Now, Eurovision is a very popular event competition and drawing about 200 million viewers annually. And they have discovered, superstars like Celine Dion, Julia Iglesias, ABBA, Olivia Newton-John, big stars, right? What is that like competing out there for you and handling that pressure and that business that you're in? I know you started talking about it, but let's just elaborate on that.
Yeah, of course. So my main mission is to put Bulgaria on the world
Wonderful.
map, to showcase Bulgarian artists,
Yes.
and to get Bulgaria to open this door for international market. And if I can be the first one, it's gonna be great. I've never had doubt that we are meant to be on these big stages and
Yes.
to have representation. This is
Yes.
so important. The music scene, it's not so diverse. I mean, they might tell you that it's so diverse, but it's in
Yes.
reality, it's not. We don't have a worldwide star as a, huge international star. I think it's 100% a must do, must have. Eurovision. For real, it's a lot of pressure, but it's worth it. The mission is so great that it's worth it.
Wow. I love how focused you are, and it really shows. You're the one representing, your country, and you're very proud of it, which is really
Speaking
great
so
to
much to the
see.
young kids,
Hmm.
to
And
young
inspiring.
girls,
Yeah,
boys. And I
exactly.
remember me being a young girl and watching Eurovision for the first time when those big artists, Elitsa and Stunji, the Bulgarians, they represented Bulgaria. And that was the first time I saw Bulgaria in this big display. And
Yes.
I said, okay, this is a huge deal. And I
Yes.
wish that I'm going to be in their place when I grew up. And now I'm in their
Wow.
place. It makes me feel so
Wow.
also
I'm
I
getting
know
goosebumps.
what's the responsibility that it all has. I know
Yes.
that when people see me, they imagine themselves being there. So that really helps me see the future of Bulgaria going abroad and being bigger and brighter.
Wow. That is so cool to hear that. When you were growing up, you see all the stars and, you were dreaming once in your younger life that you want to be them. And now you're doing that. And then it reverses back to the younger ones now out there watching you, wanting to be like you and, pursue their dreams. They want to be Dara. I can only imagine there's many little Daras out there. I'm like, I want to be her. I want to be her. And this is why you're such a, role model for them, which I think is great. Also, like you said, entertainers have a lot of responsibilities. Now, have you felt at some point in your career misunderstood by the public?
Yeah, I think this is one of the nobody is telling you that when you go to this business, you're pouring your heart out as an artist, as a person. You pour your time,
Everything.
everything of your art, everything that you got there. but you're exposing yourself a lot. Your soul is naked in front of the audience. So you're truly being exposed is what can hurt you, but is the only right way for me, being honest with the audience. And yes, of course, that there are moments where people can try to put you down. And on those situations really shows if you're meant for this business and if you really want to pursue this career, you should build resilience towards what everybody thinks. You should be delusional even.
Yeah.
You should
If you need to take yourself in that level.
Yeah, of course.
It's a good thing.
I am being delusional for 1 month. It's amazing.
I
People
love
might
how
think
you
I'm
put it.
crazy. I don't care. Let them think.
I
You know?
love how you put it, because only artists can understand what you're talking about. And boy, I do understand exactly as an artist myself here in the US. If you need to be delusional and pretend, and this is about a job of pretending.
Yep.
Like you said, bearing your soul. As a true artist, and not every performer are artists in my opinion, but you happen to be real. And when you perform out there, you give it your all, like you said, and you bear your soul out there for the audience, because the only way that we artists know how to do it is to be bold and honest about our work and about our feelings. And it's so interesting that you say there's a level of things that you have to be, perhaps even take it to the delusional level, that you really have to dream big. And that's a lot of times a requirement. There are times when, you can't please everybody, or someone might have this to say, about you. Those are, to me, have been part of the game that you're in. And the real tests of it all is that when you fold like a cheap suit, I would say, and give in to those critics or whatever they complain of the day, or ignore it, the classic way of dealing with it, because you know who you are, you know who Dara is, what kind of an artist she is, and what she can give, and what she has been connecting with her audience. And so that's the only thing that matters to you.
So very nice to meet you, Abby, and thank you for
you.
joining us. And this is the ZarahRocks show, and we're going to be asking a couple of questions from you, see what's your viewing, and we're going to have fun. Great. Well, can you name some of the main issues that younger generations are facing?
Yeah, I think right now, especially in most adolescents, like depression, I actually did a research paper on this.
Oh my God, perfect.
Yeah, that although we have many resources for it, adolescents feel like shy, scared to share about like their internal like suffering, I guess, because of that social pressure. So yeah.
And is that why they suffer in silence?
Yes.
You see teens commit suicide.
Yes.
That kind of stuff, scary stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I my heart goes out to them. And I really, we tackle quite a bit of mental health issues in the show as well for the younger generations. And this is why we want to offer practical advice, creativity kind of direction, listen to music, lean into your passion, and write books, write music, write a movie. You never know where that leads you.
I'm Abby, and you're watching the ZarahRocks show.
If you can just ignore it, you're lucky. But I think most of the artists cannot just ignore something. They live it with their whole body. I had this anxiety attack 2 months ago that was so bad. It got me, I was awake for 4 hours just shaking. And I was about to say no to, to everything, to doing Eurovision too, because I felt my whole system just going down. And I said to myself, is it worth it to do this and to put your health on the line?
Right.
Like, are you so sick that you want to be that successful, but you let your health down? So you're letting yourself down. Do you really love yourself? Is that a question that you need to ask yourself,
That's right. And decide.
God bless that I got this amazing support system around me. I have my family, I have my mom, I have my husband, I have my team, and everybody that I'm surrounded with. I'm with the right people who are good for me, good for my mental health, and everybody's trying to help and support me.
That's very important in this business.
Just being there, being present to the moment with me.
I love it.
And when I felt that extreme anxiety, it was because of hate in the social media. So it was not something that it's easy to deal with. For sure, you cannot just ignore it, because I think your body is feeling this stress, and you cannot command your body. You cannot command your nervous system. And sometimes you need to live through it so you can rebuild yourself and be even stronger and know your values, because on these moments you're understanding who you are as a person, and you need to ask yourself certain questions. And for me, when I was in this period, I said, who I am really, like,
Yeah.
is that me?
Yeah.
Am I the broken? Maybe I'm this broken too,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think I'm unapologetically myself. I'm bold and I'm brave enough.
Good for you.
And I had this conversation with my higher self, even with God,
Sure.
universe, whatever you want to call it. And I said, and I was like, if I'm meant for that, I know that I will find the power in me to be
Yes. To get through it.
that bold and to just say, you know what, even if I'm scared, I'm still gonna do it, because I know what's my mission. I know who I am. I know my values. So turns out I know who I am, and I know what I want to do. And my mission it's bigger than that. It's bigger than what some random people will say about me, you know.
Exactly.
The mission is so much more valuable than I said. It's not about me, even. It's about this whole new
Bigger
world that I'm
purpose.
building with this idea of making Bulgaria bigger and on the map, on the
Very
music
nice.
market.
Yes. And I think no one can fault you with that mission, I should say. It's very interesting so far that you have been talking about the mental health and the anxiety that you encounter, because there's a lot of pressure in this entertainment business, especially for the young. A lot of them get ruined, I hate to say, because they either, number one, don't have the proper guidance, obviously, because everybody's new, including their parents. So they're trying to figure it out. They're also don't have the support system. And I'm glad you mentioned about your team. You are very lucky to have that support system. That's very important, because this is a battle, your career and everything that you're doing. Your encounter with the social media. I want young kids to really understand this. When you are in the social media and you've got all those naysayers, we call it here, how do you deal with, yes, as in no, naysayers, and how do you deal with it? What advice can you give them? Because social media has been the front and center and has ruined kids. In many ways, as much as it has helped them. In fact, there's a lawsuit, and in LA, it's huge, that this woman claiming that she got addicted, and she actually won. It's the first one. It's making a landmark. It's the first one that the big tech giants are taking responsibility. It's now going to trickle down, because there's many suicide that has taken place.
I saw this documentary in the USA. It's so big. I saw
Bingo.
that kids, 11, 12, and 13 years old kids.
Oh my gosh.
Committing
My
suicide
gosh. Exactly.
Because of hatred in the social media.
Exactly. And the mental health that brings them is so crazy.
Crucial.
And to be honest with you, I talk to them all the time. And one of the things that they always mention is the social media when it comes to mental health. So you touch a subject that's very important. I'm really glad that we're talking about this, because it's a firsthand experience from an artist like you who's in that world stage and sharing that experience, that yes, you're not far different from the average kid out there who's doing the social media, and suddenly, oh my gosh.
We're not so different from each other.
Yes, exactly. That's the human aspect.
Yeah, we're human, and we all have the similar experiences. And social media, trust me, most of us, we do have the similar experience.
Yes.
Somebody saying something for your hair, for your body, for your eyes, for your friends, for your family, for your house, car. So
here's the best advice: get off the social media.
For everything.
Right. It's not easy, especially for a kid who is looking for a validation. This is why the adults have been saying, well, maybe just ease up a little bit in the social media, or maybe, there's been talks about restrictions under 16, maybe you shouldn't be viewing it as much, or in school, it's very destructive in your studies. It doesn't help with the mental growth when your brain is just developing when you're young, So take me back to the time when you had an attack a couple of months ago, when you were shaking, like you said, and it's gone to a point which was uncontrollable. How were you able to get yourself back on track and calm yourself down and remedy that?
Yeah. Well, movement helped me a lot.
Great.
Movement is one of the one of the things that really helps. This is what I do every day, actually. I move a lot every day.
Good
It really
for you.
helps me with my mental health. But let's put it like that. First of all, for mental health, you need to have great sleep. You need to sleep. This is the
Yes,
priority. Good sleep,
absolutely. I
water,
agree.
movement,
100%.
nutrition, having friends. This is
Support
the
system.
five most important. A love.
Yes.
Somebody to
Yes.
love.
Yes.
Those are so important. Having my inner circle being my family, it's the thing that helps me a lot. Therapy. Therapy has tremendous success on my mental health.
Benefits for you. That's
Yeah.
good.
So
That's
many
good.
benefits.
I love that. And that remains, that's some of your secret weapons, you're saying.
Yeah. It's not even a secret. I'm super vocal with it everywhere I go.
Open
Because
secret, I
I
should
do
say.
want to help. I know that people do have problems, but never go to that dark place so they
Sure.
can open up and really start to search for help. And
Yes.
for me, this really helped me. And I'm so
Wow.
open because I know that there's a lot of
Yes.
people in my situation, but never question that they feel stuck and they think this is the end of the world. And
Exactly. Oh my God.
they
You
might
did.
need
Oh my
somebody
God.
to give them a sign. And that's why I speak about it. I
Or
communicate.
a little bit of that, helping hand or support, realizing that you're not the only one who's going through this.
Hmm.
I've been there. I've done that. Like when someone talks to me, right, about mental health and anxiety and all that stuff, depression, I immediately can identify with it because it wasn't long ago, as you know, that I have battled through my own darkest moments with losing my husband. And so there's nothing about it that I don't understand, I always say. And battling through that alone doesn't contribute to your mental health. Like you were saying, one of the biggest advice you can give is to reach out and have that support system and exercise. And, when I had my alarming level of anxiety, people couldn't find me. I was locking myself up in my room. I was a hermit, I would say, in my house for years. I thought I was going to get a heart attack when you put me with a couple of people. I knew something was seriously wrong because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle anything
That's
huge
trauma.
or big. It almost felt like I needed to go back and retrace my life and relearn life in the first grader, like making baby steps. That was the clear definition of being traumatized emotionally. And I didn't realize that because I never been through this. There's no manual, there's no guide. And young people, they don't have either the support or the know-how or the knowledge. And by you speaking about this openly, and so do I, in fact, I'm usually very private, but if I have to open up a little bit of my life to help others, because originally I didn't want to speak publicly about this. But then when I started giving nuggets to young people, they're like, how'd you make it? What did you do? They're so inspired. So I said to myself, well, I can help these guys. There's no price for that. I'm going to go do it. And voila, here we go with the podcast talking about it.
Hey guys, this is Dara, and you're watching the ZarahRocks show.
Having, I should say, guests like you in the entertainment, industry, that's a firsthand experience. That's so precious and valuable. People like you wanted to help the kids. Like, look, guys, it's not just, bed of roses. It's not like glitz and glamour here. It's hard work. It's a lot of battle. 2 months ago, I just had this breakdown, this anxiety, whatever. That's not easy to battle. That's real life stuff. It becomes suddenly very real to all of us. So the way to combat all of this, like you said, is make a few steps towards something positive. Like you said, exercise, eating right, having the support system. When I had my anxiety, I had this breathing exercises that I do like 5 minutes a day. I scoffed it off in the beginning. I said, what difference does it make? What do you know? Boy, did it help me. It made a huge difference in my day, being able to calm down and get your mind straight and have that, centeredness, which became also a theme in fighting my battles, because I tell myself, I don't have to worry about next week, next 3 months, or tomorrow.
Only for
One
today.
day. Yes. I'm just going to get through the day today, one day at a time, one problem at a time, one breath at a time. And that's how I tackle things. And I strongly advise young folks in that respect, because life, I always say, is not easy. And so whether you're doing your career or just even life in general, life is also hard for regular people, It's not like you have all this, again, knowledge and how to deal with that. It really becomes tough and trying to survive that. I mean, couldn't you feel any more loneliness and depression and all that stuff? Like the world has abandoned you, like when my life collapsed. And that's one
What
of the
you went
hardest
through
stuff.
was extremely hard to
Yeah.
survive.
Yes.
I think it's almost like you lose half of yourself. Not almost,
Absolutely.
but it's 100% you lost half of yourself. And
Yes.
it's so
Yes.
traumatic to lose somebody that you love so
Yes.
deep and you've built your whole life with them.
Exactly.
I think
Spending
that's
time
so hard.
24/7. Yep.
Yeah, it's so hard
Yeah.
to go
And
through this.
suddenly taken away from you just like that. So how do you really adjust to that?
Yeah.
Think about that. It's almost like
Nobody
somebody.
teach you about that. Nobody
Yeah,
prepared you for that.
exactly. Right. The same way nobody taught you how to deal with your anxiety. Oh, by the way, we want to surprise you with this pursuance of your dream. Nobody told you that you're going to have this crushing anxiety attack, and now you have to deal with that. And everything is just moving so fast paced. It's like, how do you truly, deal with this? So yeah, it's tough. And that's part of life too. And this is why putting a spotlight to, performers like you, entertainers like you, who are part of this business, right? So interesting, by the way, about Robbie Williams, because not long ago, I just interviewed one of his longtime tour managers, and we were talking about his, addiction, made a positive recovery and co-founded this beautiful charity that helps people in their mental health and addiction within the music industry. And I absolutely loved it. It's like talking to the actual victim themselves who
Yeah.
triumph in the end, beat all the odds. So it is tough. None of these things are easy, especially for a young girl.
And when you say addiction, it's so hard not to go there because
Yes.
when the world is so dark and heavy, you kind of just
Yes.
don't want to be in the present. You want to run out of that the reality.
You want to
and
escape. You
you
want to
want
escape.
escape. That's escapism.
Exactly.
It's a real thing
Exactly.
in the
It's
music
it's
industry.
very
When people had to, big trauma happen to them, they lose somebody.
yeah.
It's the number one thing that your mind will go to, and it's so hard to
Yes.
not let yourself go
Yes.
in that dark place.
Yeah. Absolutely. I always say that this is a test, a challenge that you either die slowly with them, that's a choice that you have, or you fight to get your life back. And obviously, I chose the latter because I'm here talking to you. And
Yep.
it is not easy. I call it a battle, which is why I wrote a book about it, a self-help book that is yet to come that stems from this theme.
How is it called?
It's called Guardians of Our Dreams.
I'm ready. I'm
Thank
so
you.
ready.
Thank you.
I cannot
It will
wait.
come out eventually. It's actually one of the titles of my songs in my album that's also yet to come out.
Great.
It's funny, the front cover of it is this angel with wings with a sword, like a female warrior. It's medieval theme because I like to be edgy. I'm a rock and roll artist after all, and I have to put my signature in it.
You're so talented writing a book and an album. What the?
Never a dull moment, I should say.
Also, when? When do you have the time?
Right? Exactly. It's hard to
Amazing.
write a book.
That's amazing.
It's a religious dedication. You
Mm.
have to do it religiously. And it was very hard for me to open up that part of my life because I've always kept it private. And it's now my mission to, get the young kids that know there is a way out. I did it. I've been through that. I've been there, done that. And the last thing you want to do, I know it sounds like a cliche, is give up, because I didn't give up. The moment you do, you might as well just put down your sword, because this is about your battle. People once told me, well, you're a strong person, da, da, da. To me, it's not about the strength. Yes, you'll have your strength. In my book, I talked about the practical advice and how to follow it. And that is, more importantly, it's about your willpower
Yeah.
to get on with life, because
Yes.
willpower, if you have that, your strength can be built. You
Mhm.
ever wonder why other people are strong on this and that? You have that too. You have the ability to bring that out of you. You just need to dig deep in
Yeah.
to let it shine. And this is the misconception, I think, because when you go through stuff, people tell me you're strong. I was so sick of hearing it. You have no idea what happened to me. I
Yeah.
felt the weakest. I felt like I was done. The whole world abandoned me. Everybody abandoned me. Try feeling that way, and you're going to feel like you've been eviscerated, like limb by limb, you're being torn apart.
Yeah.
It was pure sufferings. It was pure pain for me. And to stay in that mental health capacity, that stage where you are functionable, not even at least at the healthiest, it was also a battle because I had to fight for that. The one thing that I always know is that you will build your resilience through the pain and suffering. So my priority was to heal. I didn't care about the worries and bullets coming at me tomorrow, the next day, 3 months. I say, screw it. Right now, my job is to stay alive.
Yeah.
Right now, I have the mission to stay clear of all those noises in my life and the world. And I need to center myself, because that's the most important thing. I'm no good. I cannot engage the world if I am not well. It starts within you. This is one of the things that I say. I never went into the self-destructive path, which is so easy to do. I could drink, I could smoke away, I can drug myself to death, I can be in and out of jail. I chose not to. I had my mind still clear, thank God. Well, that's it for us for today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to leave me any comments or any questions that you may have, and make sure to tune in to our part 2 Dara interview next time. And remember, it doesn't matter how your story begins. It matters how it ends. I'm your host, Zara, signing off for now, and I will see you later.